911, what is the location of your emergency?
Apartment 107, building 13, please hurry up.
You can hear the fear in 2-year-old Wynter Cole-Smith's mom's voice as she called 911 for help the night of July 2nd, shortly before her daughter was kidnapped.
I have a 1 and 2-year-old. He's going to kill my babies.
What's going on?
He has a knife. He already cut me right here.
It appeared the 911 call was made shortly after Wynter's mom's boyfriend, 26-year-old Rashad Trice, stabbed her. The 911 audio reveals a bystander witnessed parts of the incident.
She got cut. Her boyfriend is trying to kill her and her babies. We're sitting in my car, and she came over, and she's bloody, and she had a knife with her. I told her to drop the knife and get in the car.
He was sane enough to not kill his own baby. He didn't kill his own baby, but he took the baby of the other brothers and took the baby of his sister to create indefinite harm.
How can you even process a grown man attacking a 2-year-old? Like, really? How? That question is going to stay with a lot of people for a long time, because Wynter Cole-Smith was only 2 years old when her mother's ex-boyfriend, Rashad Maleek Trice, took her from her home after violently attacking her mother. And what makes this even harder to understand is that Trice left his own 1-year-old son unharmed inside that apartment while taking Wynter, a child who had nothing to do with the problems between the adults. When I first came across this case, I had the same reaction as so many people in the community. You can almost understand the concept of an adult hurting another adult, even though it's still horrible. But a 2-year-old? A baby who couldn't defend herself, couldn't understand what was happening, and couldn't even comprehend why someone she knew was taking her away? Make it make sense. Wynter wasn't taken by some stranger who broke into the apartment. Rashad Trice was familiar to her. He had been around her family, and he had been in a relationship with her mother, Samari Cole. But before we get too deep into what happened, it's important to understand the people involved and the events that led up to that night. Samari Cole and A.J. Smith Jr. had known each other since they were young. Their relationship eventually led to the birth of their daughter, Wynter, in January 2021. By the time Wynter was born, Samari and A.J. were no longer together romantically, but they continued to co-parent. A.J. was a college football player at the University of Tennessee at Martin, while Samari remained in Michigan raising Wynter. And by all accounts, Wynter was a happy, loving little girl. Her family described her as smart, energetic, affectionate, and full of life. She was the kind of child who could light up a room without even trying. Meanwhile, Rashad Trice had a troubled background and a growing history with the criminal justice system. He met Samari in 2021 when Wynter was only a few months old. And according to police records, the relationship became violent almost immediately. In May 2021, roughly a month after they started dating, Samari called police following an argument involving Wynter's father. Trice was reportedly jealous and angry about AJ and allegedly threatened him. During the confrontation, Samari was holding 3-month-old Wynter when Trice got in her face, took her phone, threw it, and pushed her hard enough that she fell into a lamp. Wynter narrowly avoided being injured. Trice was arrested and faced domestic violence and resisting police charges. But this was only the beginning. Over the next few years, his record grew to include multiple assault, fleeing, resisting, and obstruction cases across several Michigan counties. He repeatedly ended up with guilty pleas, jail time, probation, or other relatively limited consequences. And at the time Wynter disappeared, he was still under supervision. Oh, so now we're looking at a pattern that had already been documented, yet Trice remained free. By 2023, Samari and Trice had a son together, but their relationship had become unstable. There was also ongoing tension involving AJ, Wynter's father. According to AJ, Trice had contacted him directly and sent him inappropriate material involving Samari. AJ said his message to Trice was simple: don't mess with his family or his daughter. But eventually, Samari and Trice separated. Even after they were no longer together, people in the neighborhood continued seeing Trice around Samari's apartment. And then came July 2nd, 2023. That night, Trice showed up at Samari's Lansing apartment. What happened inside would trigger a massive search across Michigan and leave a family devastated. According to investigators, an argument between Samari and Trice turned physical. Samari was eventually stabbed multiple times and sexually assaulted, but she managed to escape the apartment and run to a neighbor for help. Her children were still inside, her 1-year-old son and 2-year-old Wynter. When police arrived, the 1-year-old was found unharmed. But Trice was gone, so was Wynter, and so was Samari's white Chevrolet Impala. That changed everything. Police quickly realized this wasn't simply a domestic violence call anymore. A 2-year-old child was missing, and the man believed to have taken her had fled in a vehicle. An Amber Alert was issued in the early morning hours of July 3rd. Law enforcement across the state began searching for Wynter. Lansing Police, Michigan State Police, the FBI, and agencies in multiple counties joined the effort. Drones were deployed. Helicopters searched from above. K-9 teams were brought in. Officers checked properties, waterways, roads, and areas connected to Trice.
Thank you for all being here today. I appreciate your effort coming in. My name is Ellery Soser. I'm the Chief of Police here in Lansing, Michigan. That's ELLERYSOSEBEE. The purpose of this press conference is to continue to update everyone with new information and to share what has been done in hopes that will bring us a few steps closer to finding our missing 2-year-old Wynter Cole-Smith. We speak for everyone, specifically the mother and the family, when we say we just want Wynter home safe. Since the Amber Alert, we have received countless tips and information on the whereabouts of Wynter. There are many agencies and multiple teams working together in Lansing, Detroit, and everywhere in between to follow up on all and every new piece of information that we get. So a little summary about the case. On July 2nd, approximately 23:19 hours, accused Rashad Maleek Trice was in a domestic altercation with our 22-year-old victim, which is Wynter's mother, in the 3000 block of Beaujardin in Lansing. The victim sustained multiple stab wounds in the assault, but was able to leave the house and call for help from a nearby neighbor. When police arrived, they found the accused gone and the victim's 2-year-old daughter, Wynter, missing. When the accused was later arrested in St. Clair Shores, he did not have the missing 2-year-old with him. Since this event, the Lansing Police Department, along with all of our area, county, and state partners, have teamed up with the FBI to search for Wynter. We have searched the area of the incident using door-to-door canvases, K-9 searches, drones, multiple helicopter searches with heat signature technology, and our dive team, which is our scuba team, in the area with no success so far. Our partner teams in Detroit have investigated known associates who frequent addresses related to the accused. And finally, we've kept the public up to date with our efforts and facts out of the case in hopes to finding new witnesses, new information, and to help the public know the areas where they can assist us by searching. We have active teams out searching this very minute, following up on tips and information that have come in through those avenues. What we need now is the public's continued support and assistance. We have shared the suspect's known routes and the vehicle he was driving, as you were given in a hard copy, and we'll also be able to provide that in another format later today. This route will be shared with everyone, and please push it out so everyone knows and has an accurate information. This is an approximate route based on information that we've received since this incident started. If you have any security cameras or Ring doorbells, please check your systems. If you travel the approximate route, please keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you own any property or work on any property close to the route, please take some time to look around and call if you see anything out of place or unusual. We will stay the course. We will continue to investigate this case to the fullest of our capabilities. Please be cautious on spreading misinformation about this investigation. That's only harmful and sets us back in our efforts. Furthermore, if anybody has knowledge of Wynter's whereabouts and chooses not to come forward by choice, you will be charged appropriately. We are here today because we are dedicated and committed to bringing Wynter home. Wynter is one of our kids, and we won't rest until we find her. I will be remiss if I didn't acknowledge some of our colleagues and partners that are here today, as well as who supported us and assisted us with this investigation. First and foremost, the men and women of the Lansing Police Department, the FBI offices in Lansing and Detroit, Ingham County Sheriff's Office, Eaton County Sheriff's Office, the Michigan State Police, our local law enforcement partners, St. Clair Shores Police Department, Detroit Police Department, our Ingham County Prosecutor John Duane, and of course Mayor Shore, who is here with us today. I have also heard personally from several of our key stakeholders in the cities, such as our local and state officials and representatives, our local clergy who is here with us today, and those of the community who have assisted us in tips and information moving forward. Your support for our community in this time of need means very much to us, giving us the hope for a successful resolution to bring Wynter home. We will not give up on Wynter. We will keep hope and prayers alive for a safe return of Wynter. I will now turn it over to FBI Special Agent in Charge, Devin Kowalski.
Thank you, Chief Sosby. Good afternoon. My name is Devin Kowalski. That's D-E-V-I-N. Last name Kowalski, K-O-W-A-L-S-K-I. I'm the acting Special Agent in charge of the FBI field office here in Michigan. First and foremost, our hearts are with Wynter Cole-Smith and her family. This is a horrific situation, and the FBI has been involved in this investigation from the very beginning in support of Chief Sosby and the Lansing Police Department. We are bringing every resource we have, both here in our field office, in our sub-offices across the state, and drawing on our headquarters resources, including our child abduction response team, behavioral analysis units, and other technical units to assist the Lansing Police Department. As the Chief noted, we thank you for the public's ongoing assistance, and we continue to ask for your assistance with information related to Wynter's whereabouts. Please contact us at 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI, or www.tips.fbi.gov. That's www.tips.fbi.gov. Contact us at this phone number or website if you have any valuable information that can help us find her. This afternoon, the FBI is announcing that we are offering a $25,000 reward for information leading to the location of Wynter. I want to take a moment and thank the hardworking women and men of the Lansing Police Department, the St. Clair Shores Police Department, the Detroit Police Department, Michigan State Police, and a vast team from the FBI and our field office and headquarters for their relentless, around-the-clock efforts looking for Wynter and putting this case together. And again, I want to thank members of the community for your contributions. We need you. The FBI is part of the Lansing community. We don't just work here, we live here. There is no higher priority for us than to support Lansing Police Department in locating Wynter. Thank you.
Obviously, this is an ongoing investigation that won't have a lot of comments that I'll be able to answer, but I'll open the floor up now for any questions that I can. Yes?
What is Trice charged with officially?
The initial charges, I don't have all of them right now because there's multiple jurisdictions in this case. Yes?
You talked about the route that Trice took after leaving Lansing. Are you able to shed any light as to why he traveled in those places, going west, going towards Detroit, some of the other locations, any idea what he was doing?
Not at this time. We know that that he has friends and family in various locations around the state, so we're trying to eliminate all the acquaintances and associates that he has.
You talked about if anyone else was involved in addition to that, and it was a message that was stressed yesterday. They too could be prosecuted. That's a message you still want to reiterate?
Absolutely. If anybody has any knowledge of Wynter's whereabouts or has control of Wynter, that they need to know that they will be prosecuted to the fullest if they're involved in this in any way.
Where's the suspect being housed right now?
Suspect is in a hospital in the Detroit area, but the Lansing Police Department officers are guarding him right now, and as soon as he's cleared from medical, then he will be transported up here to Ingham County. Go ahead. Yes, we encourage that everyone that is willing and has the ability to get out and help and to look for Wynter, whether it's on the route that was provided or or if there was anything that any property anywhere close or in the proximity of the approximate route that you were provided. Get out and look for anything out of the unusual, out of the ordinary, and immediately call if there's anything like that. I caution you though, being that we are on the 4th of July weekend and travel is very thick right now, to be on the highways looking and search parties out on the highways right now is somewhat of a dangerous situation. So I caution anybody that's wanting to be out on the highways right now to look for Wynter. Traffic is going to be heavy and getting even heavier in the evening, so please be cautious.
You share the route with us. Is that something you're pushing on social media and various platforms too, so the public can look and then
Yes.
solve if they choose to?
Yes, our media team will be pushing that out along with the FBI.
What is the condition of the suspect? Is he awake? Is he conscious? Is he still not being already?
He is awake and conscious, and he is we're in the process of continual interviewing him at this point.
What's the status of the mom who was stabbed and assaulted?
She has been released from the hospital for her injuries. Yes.
You talked about getting security cameras, doorbell cameras. Have you received any of that already as you continue to look for more?
We have received an abundance of tips and information such as that, but we encourage anybody, obviously, video is a very crucial piece of the evidence to see and produce the route or produce any other evidence. But yes, we have, and we will hopefully continue to.
Is there video evidence that you've seen that indicate Wynter got into the car?
I don't have any information on that right now. A couple more. Anybody else? Okay, as I said before, we will continue to push this effort. We will not give up. We want Wynter home with her family. She's one of our kids, and we won't rest until we get her home and bring some safety to her and some closure to her mom. And if there's anybody that has any information, please reach out to us on the FBI tip line or our 911 here in Ingham County and give us any tips. Now, we will continue to give updates through our public information office along with the FBI's public information office, and please look for any other updates on social media. Thank you.
Investigators also began tracking his movements through cell phone data. The information suggested that Trice had traveled from the Lansing area toward the Detroit region. Meanwhile, Wynter's father, AJ, was still in Tennessee when he learned his daughter was missing. He rushed back to Michigan with help from his football program and joined the desperate search for his little girl. But while the family was looking for Wynter, police were looking for Trice. Around 4:45 in the morning, officers in St. Clair Shores spotted the stolen Impala. They attempted to stop it, but Trice took off. The pursuit became a high-speed chase that eventually ended when the vehicle crashed into a police car. Officers surrounded the vehicle and pulled Trice out after he resisted arrest and attempted to reach for an officer's weapon. But when they searched the car, something immediately stood out. Wynter wasn't there. Her car seat was still in the back, but the toddler was gone. Let me tell you something. Imagine being the officer who just caught the man at the center of an Amber Alert, only to look inside that car and realize the child you're trying to save isn't there. Trice was taken to the hospital for injuries from the crash and placed under guard. Investigators questioned him, but he denied taking Wynter and offered little information about where she could be. He knew there was an Amber Alert, yet he wasn't giving authorities the answer they desperately needed. So investigators went back to the evidence. Cell phone records helped establish his movements. His phone had traveled along a route stretching roughly 90 miles from Lansing toward Detroit. Search teams began concentrating on areas connected to that route and people who might have known Trice. At a press conference, authorities asked the public to check security cameras, ring doorbells, properties, and anything along the suspected route that might provide a clue. The FBI also announced a $25,000 reward for information leading to Wynter's location. Days passed, and with every hour, the family's fear grew. Wynter's grandmother described the search as mentally torturous. Her family kept hoping that somehow, this little girl would be found alive. But on July 5th, nearly 3 days after she disappeared, that hope was shattered. Investigators found Wynter's body in an overgrown Detroit alley. She was only 2 years old. The search that had begun with an Amber Alert had now become a homicide investigation. The little girl everyone had been praying to bring home was never coming back, and investigators would soon uncover evidence that connected Trice directly to her death.
Back now to that devastating breaking news on Detroit's east side. Police found the body of 2-year-old Wynter Smith.
Police and the public have been frantically searching for the child from Lansing to Metro Detroit. The FBI updated the media within the last 30 minutes. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin was there. He's live now with the latest. And Dave, do we know if it was a tip that led police to that alley?
We're still trying to figure some of that out. We do know there was a neighbor in this area that went on social media and said that something disturbing was happening or was found in the back of their house. We're trying to find out more about that. Let's go to some video here. Absolutely not the news that we wanted amid this very active and fluid crime scene, Nodell, and it's really further down from Nodell on Irwin Street. Multiple law enforcement sources confirming the body of 2-year-old Wynter Cole-Smith of Lansing has been found on Detroit's east side where we are now. The body located in an alley near a house. We are told Detroit police made that disturbing discovery. The FBI is going door to door, gathering evidence and talking to neighbors. The feds just gave an update. Here's acting special agent in charge, Devin Kowalski.
At approximately 6:50 p.m. this evening, the body of Wynter Cole-Smith was recovered by FBI agents. This is not the outcome we were hoping for, and our hearts go out to Wynter's family. Our evidence response team is currently processing the scene. Our best people are back there to do what is necessary to be as respectful as possible to Wynter and her family.
That's the acting special agent in charge of the FBI's Detroit field office, I believe. You can see how heavy this is on their faces as they read that prepared statement. They weren't taking any questions. Obviously, seasoned law enforcement personnel like those you just heard from, this is hard for them, and they see a lot of very, very difficult things. So the scene again is a few blocks down where we are. I'd say about maybe 3-4 blocks down on Irwin Street. They're keeping us quite a distance back. There's a blue tarp that they've got up there. Obviously, this is a very sensitive scene. They don't want people to see a whole lot. As the FBI is going door to door, they're trying to gather surveillance video. They're talking to neighbors to see what they might know. Also, pardon that vehicle there, loud noise. Sorry about that. So what we do know is that the FBI, they were retracing that route. Remember that map that we showed extensively on Fox 2 News showing that travel route that the suspect here, Rashad Trice, took from Lansing after that violent altercation where Wynter's mother was stabbed, and then the car that he allegedly stole, that 2013 white Impala, and then drove all the way down overnight through the evening of July 2nd down eventually to St. Clair Shores, where he crashed into a police car, resisted arrest, one report trying to grab a gun. Ultimately, he was subdued. But what we know is that on that journey, there were cell phone pings that the FBI and law enforcement that they were working to track. And that's how they were able to come up with that travel map there. Also likely looking at surveillance cameras from along the highway that whole time. So both the family, they had their own search going on. They were in Lathrop Village looking over there. They were trying to retrace steps, and also the feds retracing the route that Trice had taken according to that data, that digital forensic technology, if you will, that they were looking into. So that is likely how they ended up in this location here, and we're still trying to find out more about that tip and how all of this came together here, but still very, very disturbing and very sad. We're live on the east side. Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Dave, putting that timeline together along with that map and that surveillance, you're talking about all those pieces of that puzzle that need to come together. Family obviously standing by, hoping that it'll put together somewhat of an idea as to what could have happened here. We'll be watching this very carefully, and we'll follow it every step along the way. We'll be watching for your report tonight on The Edge at 11 as well. Dave Kinchin for us live. Thank you.
The investigation eventually revealed that Wynter had been strangled with a pink cell phone cord. Part of the cord was found with her remains, while another portion was recovered from the Impala Trice had been driving. According to the federal case, Trice admitted that after taking Wynter, he drove her toward Detroit and repeatedly played a YouTube video to keep her calm during the drive. He eventually took her to an alley and killed her before leaving her body there. And this is where the question becomes even harder to answer. Why would anyone take their anger toward an adult and make a completely innocent child pay for it? Wynter had nothing to do with the conflict between Trice and her mother. She wasn't responsible for their relationship. She wasn't responsible for AJ. She wasn't responsible for anything. Yet somehow, she became the person who paid the ultimate price. As investigators continued building the case, messages from Trice's phone became part of the evidence. One message reportedly said, "I love y'all, but I have to end this." Another simply said, "She's gone." The community was devastated. People gathered at the alley where Wynter was found, leaving balloons, stuffed animals, flowers, and other things meant to honor a little girl who should have been growing up instead of becoming the center of a homicide investigation. Her family struggled to understand how someone could look at a 2-year-old and hurt her, and that's the part that doesn't have an easy answer. Wynter should have been learning her ABCs, playing, laughing, growing, and figuring out who she wanted to become. Instead, her future ended before it could even begin. Her grandmother later talked about the dreams she had for Wynter after seeing how intelligent and energetic she was. She imagined school, accomplishments, and a future that now existed only in her memories. The family also pushed for changes to Michigan's criminal justice system, arguing that Trice's previous violent history should have kept him behind bars. They supported what became known as Wynter's Law, calling for stronger measures against repeat violent offenders. Meanwhile, the criminal case moved forward on both the federal and state levels. Federally, Trice was charged with kidnapping, resulting in death and kidnapping a minor. In March 2024, he pleaded guilty to kidnapping, resulting in death, admitting that he took Wynter and killed her. That conviction carried a mandatory life sentence. Then, in July 2024, Trice pleaded guilty in Michigan to first-degree murder and first-degree criminal sexual conduct related to the attack on Samari. The remaining state charges were dismissed as part of the plea agreement. On August 16, 2024, Trice was sentenced to life in prison without parole for Wynter's murder, along with a concurrent 60 to 90-year sentence for the assault of her mother. Days later, he received another life sentence in federal court for kidnapping, resulting in death. So there would be no trial. No jury would have to decide whether he was responsible. Trice admitted his role and will spend the rest of his life behind bars. But a prison sentence doesn't give Wynter her life back. It doesn't erase the memories her family has. It doesn't undo the empty space left behind. And it certainly doesn't answer the question her loved ones will probably carry forever. Why did a 2-year-old have to die because adults couldn't resolve their own problems? Wynter's family eventually transformed the place where she was found into a memorial. Flowers, balloons, toys, and tributes turned an alley associated with tragedy into a place where her name could continue to live.
The day after her body was discovered in an alley, tonight Detroiters gather for Wynter as community activists plead for no more violence against women and children. It's our top story tonight at 10. We're glad you're with us. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. As the FBI processed the evidence found in the East Side alley where Wynter Cole-Smith's body was dumped, Detroiters came out tonight sickened by what this toddler was forced to endure.
Mara McDonald, live on Detroit's East Side tonight. The family is planning its own vigil tomorrow night. Mara.
Devin, that's right, and they're inviting everybody to come out here tomorrow. You can see the makeshift memorial. Let me step out this way so you get a better look. That has sprung up here to Wynter, but let me tell you, all of Detroit came out to grieve tonight.
How many, raise your hands if you was impacted by what happened to baby Wynter? Yeah. Everybody out here.
I don't think anyone can look at the pictures of that pretty little girl and not just ache for her mother and her entire family. Pastor Mo, who's been a fixture in trying to curb violence in the city for years, was as impassioned as I have ever seen him tonight.
And it ain't about race and color, but I want it to be known around the world. We do not condone this BS right here.
Putting out a demand for women and children to be cared for and a plea to young men.
I want you to look at this and say and make an oath to yourself. You will become a man of standard and love your sisters and your daughters, and you use this to push back. We would not have violence against women.
Wynter's family was not in attendance tonight. They will be here tomorrow, but one of her aunts thanked everyone for coming.
We'd like to thank you. We're so grateful for all of your support. We're so grateful for all of your love, your condolences, your hugs, and most of all, we're thankful for your prayers.
Those prayers ended tonight with a hymn for Wynter.
I love you, I love you, I love you, Lord, today.
back here live. Wynter's grandfather, her dad's father, is out here this evening. I was just speaking to him before we went on the air, and I told him how terrible everybody I know feels for him, and he said, you know, after everything that has happened here, I think they don't know. I mean, the grief is so deep that it just makes you numb at this point. But he thanked everybody for their prayers. We're live on Detroit's East Side tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
That is surely understandable, and as you said, the whole community, your heart just aches for this family. Mara, we appreciate your report, and we'll talk to you again tonight at 11.
Her family also pushed for legislation in her memory, hoping something positive could come from a loss that never should have happened. Because Wynter wasn't just a headline. She was somebody's daughter, somebody's granddaughter, somebody's niece, a little girl with a whole life ahead of her. And that's what makes this case so difficult to forget. She didn't get the chance to grow up. She didn't get the chance to become whoever she was supposed to be. And all anyone can do now is remember the little girl she was and make sure her name isn't forgotten. If this story affected you, take a second to subscribe to Fable of Crime. We cover real cases like this to remember the victims, understand the warning signs, and keep their stories from being forgotten. And if you want more stories like this, turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next one.